They call it America's National Park of Speed. It's Road America, over 4 miles in length. So many great passing opportunities and 3 of the longest straightaways we have in the entire circuit of the USF Pro Championships, presented by Continental Tire. Hello, friends. My name is Rob Howden, the voice of this series. Excited to get things underway for an early morning race, the first of 3 for USF Pro 2000. I hope you have a nice hot coffee ready to go, because it is morning. It's time to race. And this will be the guy to watch, I think. Fast Frankie Mossman, the Californian. Good qualifying effort, but there was a lot going on to put you where you are.
100%. I think all the chaos, I had a 10-minute penalty to knock out in the start of the session and everything. And so I feel like we made the most of it. Wanted a little bit more in the second one. But going on to tomorrow, I feel like race one's going to be our best shot at it.
The thing is, Frankie, you've got the speed, right? And that's key here. You know you can make passes, long straightaways here. Probably the best speed I think you've had all year long. Do you feel there's momentum for you going forward?
100%. It's just been about comfortability all year. I knew from the start of the season at St. Pete, if we got it right, that we were definitely going to be up front and contending. It's just going to be about working with someone and trying to get away, because everyone's going to go at it, and there's going to be the one driver out front that's going to try and white line. So it's going to be just about putting down the laps and knowing who you're around.
Those years before you came into the USF Pro Championships, you were a top carter, right? You've got the racecraft. You've won races. You've started up front before. What is it going to take this weekend, though, knowing how crazy it's going to be for the first couple of laps?
It's just going to take at least being friendly with everyone else, you know, hoping that somebody else works with you and doesn't throw it in on the inside, because that draft, if you don't, you're not going to be able to get away. It's going to come down to the end, and it's just going to be about who comes out on top, and I'm not looking for the championship at this point. I'm just going to be looking to get these race wins early on, and especially on these good weekends like this. I'm just going to take the most out of it, keep learning, and just try to keep putting us up front.
The idea is to capitalize on the opportunities, right? Outright pace, obviously key in qualifying. What kind of a race car do you have? I know it's a simple question we always ask, but you can put the one lap down. Where could your car go? Do you feel like you have a good race car?
100%. I think late run we've been really strong. We definitely used a lot less tire than everyone else, so I feel like that's our biggest advantage coming into tomorrow, and it's just going to be about working with someone.
Not in the championship, like he says, to a certain extent. It's all about race wins for Frankie Mossman. Folks, there's a lot of great rookies in this series this year. Frankie's being one of them. This is such a talented field. Lots of rookies, like we said. We also had a chance to catch up with one rookie Canadian for VRD Racing, Nico Christodoulou. The USF Pro Championships, it's not out of the ordinary for drivers to jump up a level to sample that next series, maybe get ready for the year coming up. But there's nothing ordinary at all about Nico Christodoulou's season so far this year. Out of the gate, super strong with VRD and USF 2000. You win at NOLA. You're going for a victory at Indianapolis. You end up flipping on your head. Now we find you in a USF Pro 2000 car. I thought you were going to be sidelined for the season. How did you get behind the wheel of this car this weekend?
Yeah, with the help of everyone, I contacted a few more people to try to get some sponsor money, and I pretty much looked at the big picture. I'm like, after the unfortunate events at Indy, I won't be able to go for the championship, so I'm like, why not take the step up? It's quite similar to what I did last season, so I got the hang of it quick. As I've proven in testing, I can be really fast in this car, and I can be a real championship contender.
Let's talk about testing. You were able to get into the car at Mid-Ohio, and you were right at the top of the charts there very quick. The transition into the car, what's it been like for you? Has it been pretty easy?
Honestly, it's been pretty easy. Last season I was in a very, very similar car with the downforce tires, so it was quite a easy adaptation to jump into this car. I was a bit shaken from the previous events a few days earlier at Indy, but I was able to get over it and top the time sheets.
So this weekend here, Road America, how you been feeling so far? What are the expectations?
Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good. I've had a few incidents with car trouble, and which is quite unfortunate, but we're trying to get under it. We're going to figure out the setup and figure out the car, and we're going to try to hit the races running.
Obviously a bunch of races left to go. Mid-Ohio, Toronto, your home race, and then Portland. What's it look like? Are we going to run the whole season, or is there going to be having some work to be done to kind of find the funding to be able to do that?
Yeah, there's some work to be done to find the funding. We're going to take it one step at a time right now, but yeah, we'll see how we get on here, and then we'll take action for the next races.
You're already a winner from Toronto from last year. You got to get back to that home race.
Oh, exactly. I'm excited. Being at a home race, all your friends and family come, so it's quite hype. But at the end of the day, it's all funding. So got to work extra hard when I'm back home, find some funding for these races, and we'll see how we get on.
We already know that Nico Christodoulou can win in USF 2000. I think he can win in USF Pro 2000 as well. Hopefully we'll see him on the grid for the rest of the season. And speaking of the grid, when we get back from these commercial messages, I'll give you the full grid for USF Pro 2000.
you can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
Well, it is overcast and 58 degrees here at Road America. A interesting situation for all the drivers here in the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire is weather potentially in the forecast for the day. Maybe not right now. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting morning. We have our first of 3 races for USF Pro 2000 getting set to go. Again, my name is Rob Howden, the voice of this USF Pro Championships, and excited to be here alongside the voice of Road America, Eric Miller. We also have one of our drivers with us here as an analyst today from J. Howard Driver Development, Evagoras Papasavas in the booth with us. Drivers rolling out onto the grid right now, and again, threat of rain coming could make things very interesting at the start of the triple header. But let's have a look at the grid as we get set to go for the Elite Engines Grand Prix of Road America. 20 drivers set to roll off here to begin what will be a lot of races. We're going to bookend the day here in the USF Pro Championships. We've, of course, got a race here to start things off. USF 2000 on track at 11:30, 4 o'clock and 5:05. 2 more races this afternoon, USF Pro 2000 Race 2 and USF 2000 Race number 2. They'll wrap up their day here today. Row 10, tail of the field, Charles Finelli. We talk a lot about the youth, the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series and the USF Pro Championships. Starting at the tail of the field for Fat Boy Racing, 60 years young, Charles Finelli. If you're sitting around the racetrack right now or at home watching and you think you can't do this, you can. Charles Finelli, been a racer for a couple of decades, and always fantastic to have Charles here with us in the number 83. He'll start 20th alongside Artie Flores, the young Mexican rookie for BN Racing in the number 78. Row 9 will have Nico Christodoulou, 2 times a winner in USF 2000, won last year at Toronto and earlier this year at NOLA Motorsports Park. A bad flip in the final race in Indianapolis about 3 weeks ago. And Nico making the move up from USF 2000, realized he couldn't win the championship with a couple issues. Why not step forward, see if I can't run a couple of races in pro this year? For VRD Racing, Nicholas Christodoulou, the Canadian, starting 18th in the number 32. Alongside him, a young driver coming out of Indianapolis, Indiana for Comet Racing and Newcastle Motorsports Park. That's Logan Adams, the rookie driver this year. All about focus for this year, all about experience for 2025. Logan's had some good runs here this year. The rookie starting the number 21 from 17th position. Row number 8, a driver making his debut here this year in USF Pro 2000. 2 years in the Formula Regional Americas program out of the Pacific Northwest. Cooper Becklin for TJ Speed Motorsports in the number 28, starting 16th. Alongside him, Tyke Durst in the number 33. The rookie for Turn 3 Motorsports has a couple issues throughout the weekend, but he has got speed. Continually developing his pace. He'll start, as I said, on the inside of row number 8. Row 7. All the way back in 14th, your current point leader tied with Lucky Hughes, Nikita Johnson. A couple of wins on the season already. A little bit of controversy with a technical DQ at Indianapolis. Nikita Johnson, who's doing double duty this year, not only running USF Pro 2000, but also running in the GB3 Series, just back from Spa last weekend. It'll be a busy summer, but Nikita Johnson back in 14th. Work to do for the Floridian, who starts the number 17 on the outside of row 7. Alongside him from Mexico, D-Force Racing's George Garce Arce, the rookie, in the number 10, starting in the 13th spot. Moving forward to row number 6 on the outside from Los Angeles, California, it's Ethan Ho for Turn 3 Motorsports in the number 68, starting 12th, and former USF 2000 champion and a former winner here back in 2022 in USF Pro, Braden Eves for Exclusive Autosport, and that beautiful Corpay machine He will start, again, as I said, on the inside of row number 6, starting 11th. Watts for Eves to fight his way forward here in the opening laps. New Zealand and Canada represented on row number 5 on the outside for TJ Speed Motorsports. It is Liam Skeets, currently 4th place in points. He's had a strong season this year. The Kiwi starting on the outside in the number 26. On the inside from Canada, former USF Juniors champion Matt Clark for D-Force Racing in the number 7. Up now to row number 4 on the outside from Colombia. It is Nicholas Baptiste for BN Racing. They've had a really good start to the season. BN Racing's been right there in the top 10 all season long. Baptiste in the 74, starting 8th. Alongside him, a driver we've seen win in USF 2000. We've seen him win as well in USF Pro 2000. He'll start 7th today, but he'll start actually on the pole provisionally for race number 3 tomorrow morning. Christian Brooks out of California for Pabst Racing will start 7th in the number 19. Row 3, Jace Denmark, now living in Indianapolis. Pabst Racing's driver in the number 20. Jace Denmark, winner both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. Denmark in the number 20, starting 6th. Alongside him from Mexico, the number 77, Ricardo Escoto. Escoto coming in here currently sitting in 13th in points. Actually ran for Juncos Hollinger Racing at Detroit in the Indy Next Series last weekend. Back on board his USF Pro 2000 car, the 77. He'll start on the inside of row 3. Engines have fired on pit lane, so we're getting ready to roll here. Row number 2 on the outside, Danny Deshalski, just 16 years of age in the number 3 for Turn 3 Motorsports. The rookie driver has had some good runs of late. Currently sits in the 10th place in points, coming off a 4th place finish on the oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Deshalski, who in the past couple of years has done double duty in the USF Pro Championships and in the Radical Cup Series, focusing here on USF Pro 2000 now moving forward to cap the season. He'll start 4th alongside fast Frankie Mossman in the number 6. The Jay Howard driver development pilot starting on the inside of row number 2. 20 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole, driver who won the USF 2000 championship last year, got the scholarship colors on the car for Pabst Racing. Simon Sykes of Augusta, Georgia in the number 18, starting in 2nd. But the driver who has kind of turned things around after a rough run at NOLA Motorsports Park. 4 straight podium finishes, 3 in a row at Indianapolis. Of course, 3rd at IRP in the Freedom 90. Lockie Hughes out of Australia in the Turn 3 Motorsports number 44 will start on the pole position. Eric, first race of the day. Why not? Everybody's around here. They're waking up at the track. They're pouring themselves a cup of coffee. They got the breakfast on the griddle. And it's time to go racing, though. We're ready to go.
Absolutely. You look at the track conditions this morning. We're down to maybe 5-mile-an-hour winds, sustained gusts around 10 miles per hour, which is 15 miles an hour less than we had yesterday. We talked quite a bit about turn in on entry, turn 1, turn 12.
Yep.
All those turns affected by the crosswind, even the straightaways. The wind was affecting a lot of the toes that some of these drivers get on these 3 long straightaways here at Road America. But track temperatures 30 degrees cooler today. These track conditions aren't like anything they've seen this weekend so far.
So one of the screens we have up here in the booth is the weather, right? We've got the radar going on. I always kind of go back to the local announcer because you know what your weather's like. Sometimes you'll see rain and the announcer's like, no, it's not going to rain here. What are your thoughts on right now the fact that we do have some green on the screen?
Well, right now we've had a little bit of a green space above the racetrack, but nothing has come down. A lot of it's going to be a little bit of evaporative with the warm air aloft. Okay. We're 400 feet above Lake Winnebago, which is about 30 minutes west of here. And there's the Niagara Escarpment, which that creates that elevation change. A lot of times that column of air that lifts from Lake Winnebago as the water evaporates, it breaks apart some of these storms. So in this situation, you can kind of see if you're watching the radar, the rain's kind of concentrated and then it kind of breaks up as it comes across the lake, and that's due to that warm, moist air aloft. So we probably going to get a shower or 2 throughout the morning here. I would imagine within the next 20 minutes we may see the need for wet tires, but at the same time, if we can keep this race green, keep some heat in the tires, keep the heat in the racetrack, I think we're going to be okay this morning to start off. Heat in the tires, keep the heat in the racetrack. I think we're going to be okay this morning to start off. But Wisconsin weather, if you don't like it, wait 10 minutes. It'll change.
All right, let's bring in our driver analyst right now, Eva Goris Papasavas. Eva, crank that thing up there. Listen, we're getting ready to go. They're into the kettle bottoms right now. What's the start like here? You've raced here before, obviously. That big run down to turn number 1. What do you expect to see at the start?
Yeah, so I mean, the start here, with how big of a run you get going into turn one.
Yeah.
It's all about just getting a good reaction on the pedal to go green. And, you know, the track looks pretty wide, but actually when you're going side by side to begin with, it's not really that wide.
Right.
Especially with, you know, everyone fanning out almost 3 wide right when the flag drops. So it's all about just making sure you get a good run going down into turn one. And most of the time here, the outside is actually better here because everyone just goes down to the inside.
Yep.
And then if you can find the grip on the outside and you can go very deep on the brakes, then that works.
There's insight from Evagoras Papasavas. We'll come to him throughout the race here. We are getting set to go, folks. Time to go racing with the drivers in USF Pro 2000, the top level of the USF Pro Championships. What a great way to start the day here. Could be some rain coming to this race. We will see lots of different permutations throughout the day, but it is time to go racing. Hughes on the inside, Sykes on the outside, Aaron Likens in the flag stand. We are ready to go racing with what will be 4 races here today, and we are green, green, green. Here's the run up into turn number 1. Down to the bottom, low lining goes Lockie Hughes. Right behind him, Frankie Mossman. They're going to push there. There's the 3 wide, potentially 4 wide into turn number 1. Hold your breath, folks. It looks like they're through cleanly, at least onto the entry of the corner. Coming back down that hill into turn number 3. Hard braking into 3. You got to roll back on the power. Great start. I think that's Simon Sykes into the lead, the driver who scored his first USF Pro 2000 victory in Indianapolis just a couple of weeks ago. Now leads it under the Sargento Bridge, down into turn number 5. The second of the long straightaways here, 3 of them essentially here at Road America. Turn 5, downhill braking. You see a bit of a sweep to the left-hand side. Hughes is on the inside. Mossman on the outside. Driver's doing a great job further back to get through into turn number 5. And we are back underway up under the Corvette Bridge. There's about a 5 or 6 car length gap right now for Simon Sykes. Driver's doing a great job here, 2x2, a little bit further back. Eric, a really good start for the drivers here in Pro and a great launch from the outside of the front row for Simon Sykes.
Absolutely, and elbows out already early in this first lap. Three wide going into 8, usually not going to work, but there's been a little bit of brake lockup on a couple of these corners. Track temperatures not nearly as hot as yesterday, so it can be a little bit more grippy. So brake bias, all those types of things could be a little bit of effect in the early going till everybody gets used to the pedal. But the concern is obviously flat spotting the tires early on in this one.
Yeah, no doubt. Evagoras, a little over 3 hours till you go racing. You're going to start 9th inside of row number 5. Did you learn anything from that start? Did you get a feel for that start? Guys did a good job getting through the opening corners.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said before, I think I would like the outside better, but starting on the inside, you have to work with what you got. So I think that, you know, based on that start, if there is a gap and the 2 guys in front of me, they kind of go to the outside, then maybe I'll be able to make it 3 wide. I'll be the one making it 3 wide, but because I'm just on the start, I'm just going to try to be as aggressive as possible, make up as much positions as possible, because that's really the only thing that I need to do right now is just pass everyone.
Yeah, so when I hold my breath in turn 1 for USF 2000, you know why. It's Evagoras making it 3 wide coming down the inside into 1, Eric. He's kind of giving us the call.
Well, I think the term patiently aggressive comes to mind going into turn 1. You've got to be aggressive because, Eva, I mean, you know that that's the best way to make up a spot or 2 is capitalizing on a start and a restart.
Yeah, and that's because, you know, everyone's the closest at the start. Everyone's the closest. The draft, the toe is going to be worth the most. It's going to be the most valuable at the starts. And that's really where you make it on the starts and on the restarts. You have to make sure you capitalize on every opportunity you get because you might not get it when the field spreads out.
Lockie Hughes has gone back to the lead, made a move to go around the leader, Simon Sykes. So put Lockie Hughes back to the lead with his pole position. A bonus point put him in a tie for first place.
Spinning time for 6.
Driver around. Yeah, indeed, driver's gone around. And just when looking down at the points, look back up, and a driver has indeed gone around in turn number 6 on the outside there. We'll see whether or not that driver is able to fire. You got to expect they'll be able to get things going again unless there was major contact. Eric, I was looking down. Was there contact or was it a simple spin?
Well, I'm almost wondering if it was someone that went wide in 5. There was a car that was over the top of the rumble strips, got a little upset, lost about 3 or 4 positions. Looks like the car's fired and back underway up at the top of 6. So we will stay green. We'll find out who that was. But on the outside, where there's a little bit of debris early in the morning, obviously the track sweepers were out early, but Eva, you know that early in the morning like this, track's got a little bit of overnight dust and dirt on it.
Yeah, and I mean that's definitely a big play because, like you said before, this track, it hasn't been like this all weekend. So adapting will be very important, and that's where you're going to see the drivers who are the better at adapting are going to be in the front, especially now because we haven't had a track like this the entire week.
It's going to be interesting today because we could have weather coming through, as we know. But on a normal weekend when we're running with Indy cars, Lockie Hughes pulling away up front. Every session you guys go out is a bit different. IndyCar goes out. There's so much rubber goes down. Does it take a couple laps to figure out what the track's going to be? Like, obviously, sometimes it's greasy. If we're right after IndyCar, there's so much rubber put down. What's it like going out in such different conditions every time?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a really good thing about what this series teaches is being able to adapt, especially because most of our races are with IndyCar. And for me, that's the biggest change is when I go out with or right after IndyCar, especially after like a practice session, when they run for like about an hour. And, you know, those big Indy cars with the way bigger tires and more grip and downforce, it's definitely something to adapt to and kind of use their line as well, use their rubber instead of, you know, what you were doing all weekend before.
Tremendous battle further back in the pack right now. Christian Brooks going at it with Matt Clark. That's just inside the top 10. Clark making a move to the inside in turn number 5 to get by Christian Brooks. Driver who spun was Nicholas Baptiste for BN Racing, now falling to the tail of the field. Lockie Hughes is your leader. Simon Sykes second last time across the line. Frankie Mossman in third. Chase Denmark fourth. Ricardo Escoto rounding out your top 5. Sixth position, Braden Eves. 7th, Danny Dzelski. 8th is Liam Skeets. 9th, Brooks. 10th, Clark. Now, we had said before, Clark now put to 9th, put Brooks back to 10th. This is the lead group coming down into Canada corner. Big move by fast Frankie Mossman. The Californian for J. Howard Driver Development has gone to second. Mossman looking for that breakout, as we talked to him earlier today. Not in the championship fight right now, a little bit further back for Mossman, 11th place. So he's all about trying to get good experience, trying to bang out a couple of wins, trying to build that momentum for 2025. A driver we didn't see come through. He ran, I think, 1 or 2 USF 2000 races. A top kart racer here in the U.S. Anytime Frankie goes to a karting event, you know he's a threat to win. He's going to run up front for sure. But this is a guy that's really showing his skill set here, Eric, in USF Pro 2000. Remember, these drivers are 2 steps away from IndyCar. Like, from here, it's next, then right into IndyCar. And I think Mossman really kind of showed that talent that he has.
And obviously speaking, if you remember back to Q1, they only ran 4 laps in that first qualifying session. So what's the tire strategy moving into the weekend, knowing as well that with the potential for wet, did they change their tire decision based upon even that qualifying?
So here's the interesting thing. You and I thought that maybe they were just, it was a tire strategy. He actually got parked for the first part of that session. I didn't realize that. I didn't know there was a penalty for him. So he had to sit there while everybody else was on the track. We're like, oh yeah, great strategy. I'm only going to burn 4 laps on the tires. They actually did that in the second qualifying session. They waited the second qualifying session. The car wasn't as good as he wanted it to be. So even though he was so good in the first session, qualified third, he actually had a penalty and had to sit in pit lane for bringing out a red. So indeed, for Mossman, leveraging everything here right now. Does he have a tire strategy? Does he have better tires? Yeah. Was that the call? Probably not. But nonetheless, still a good run here for Frankie Mossman, running in seconds. They work their way through the carousel. Sykes right there with him, and right behind Sykes as well. Great run so far here for Jason Denmark. Now up into 4th spot. Denmark rolls in here, 3rd place in points. He and Lockie Hughes trying to see if they can't close and then pass Nikita Johnson to the championship battle.
Through Kettle Bottoms here, obviously, this is not an area where you really want to be too wide. We see there's a little bit of elbows up, elbows out here down into Canada. It's a great passing opportunity once you get to that second left-hander in Kettle Bottoms right before the braking zone to turn 12. Eva, we talk a lot about these races. Obviously, we've got a long way to go, 15 laps the distance here in this one. Where do you want to be, right on the gearbox on the last corner, come to the checkered flag, use a little bit of toe and pop out? Or do you want to be controlling the pace at the last couple of laps?
I think here it's pretty difficult. It's a lot like a karting race as well, with how big the straights are and how much the toe is worth. So it's not always the best to be leading the last few laps. And, maybe if the gap is very close to the lead, you might see a move going down even maybe to the last corner, a drag race to the line. So really anything could happen. But I think to get the lead here and to get the win, it's to try and do it as late as possible.
Yeah, I don't disagree. There's so many chances for guys. Like if you defend in Canada corner, you don't get the run out, right? Then you're giving up potentially the inside move into 14. Always the run into the straightaway, the run up the hill with the draft. It plays such a huge role, especially in this particular category here where we have a lot of aerodynamic downforce. Good fight further back there. That's one of the turn 3 cars battling, I believe, with trying to figure who that may be further back. We saw a great fight between Matt Clark and Christian Brooks. That's continuing. That is, I believe, Liam Skeets, Danny Jashelski, and I think Braden Eves. Who's that? There's Eves right there. So that was Eves, who's now currently running in the 6th position. Braden Eves started a little bit further back in 11th, so a +5 to start. That's fantastic for Braden Eves.
Absolutely, but you look at Danny Jashelski and Liam Skeets, that side-by-side battle. They've been kind of swapping that spot around on the straightaways here.
And it's early.
And very early in the race, not even halfway. But making the choice to kind of see what you have, too, is that maybe why you try to make those moves early, too, is to see if you have the car able to get around in certain places.
Well, that's 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th right there. Bring Matt Clark into the battle as well. 4-driver dice, Braden Eves in the Corpay exclusive Autosport machine. Won here in 2002 with Jay Howard Driver Development. Eva Goris's team. We obviously seen some big success out of that squad as well. Christian Rasmussen, an IndyCar driver, winning for Jay Howard back in 2021. That's a big scrap right now for sure. And in fact, here's the run there. I think looks to be like Jashelski with a good run out of the corner. He may take that spot. Eves is to the inside. Oh, thinking 3 wide. Eves down the bottom. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack there, trying to get by Jashelski. He'll use all of the exit, no doubt, coming out of the corner. So Braden Eves potentially losing 2 spots here right now, because I believe Matt Clark, I think, has got by as well. Matt Clark, the Canadian, on the move right now. He first got Christian Brooks, then he got Liam Skeets, and now he's by Braden Eves as well. They're side by side. Eves falling back a little bit here on lap number 6. Now he's got Liam Skeets, the Kiwi driver. Big lock up there for I want to say that it was Denmark who locked it up. Look at that battle further back. Eves goes wide. Christian Brooks up in the fight. He's able to get by. Brooks is going to look to the inside of 6.
There you see those mistakes, how much momentum you lose in these tighter corners from 5 to 10 here at Road America. You're right on the razor's edge, and if that small slight mistake costs you 2 or 3 spots.
And Braden Eves was able to get back around Clark. But look at everybody that's up into this fight right now. This is nuts. As Christian Brooks get back in, Nikita Johnson, Ethan Ho, all these drivers getting into the fight. Eves had a rough lap there, and it kind of brought everybody back into the scrap. That's the best fight we have right now. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
Don't look now for Lockie Hughes. Don't look to the mirror, because Frankie Mossman is there. Gap was just 0.3 of a second last time through. He lopped off almost half a second from the lap before. So Mossman is there. Now does, where does he go in the hunt?
Eric, we talked about this yesterday in Evagoras. You can kind of come to it a little bit. When you're a rookie driver, we always say that the first half of the season, you're the rookie. By the time you get to Road America, you're not really a rookie, right? You've done a street race, you've done the oval, you've done a road course race. So for Frankie Mossman, who's not really a rookie, he ran a couple of pro races, what would a win mean? Like if you're a young driver like Mossman, obviously with your team, Jay Howard Driver Development, what would that do to the confidence for Frankie Mossman if he's able to get by Lockie and grab a win here at Road America?
Yeah, I think a win, and not only for a rookie, but for anyone, a first win, whether it's the first win of a season or just your first win in general, it's just a huge confidence boost. It's a really big boost in confidence, because, in your mind, you're like, okay, I already won once. Why can't I do it again?
That's it.
Right? And I think if Mossman does take the win here, the rest of the season, his confidence is going to be really high, and he's going to be consistently up there.
And you had your first win last year at Mid-Ohio, and I know that the scrap you had with Simon Sykes to get that victory. What did the first win mean to you? Let's not even worry about confidence or motivation. How much did that mean to you? All the work you put in.
Yeah, it just meant so much to me. With all the work that I've been putting in, before that happening, and then to see it finally pay off and get that win, and then also get the win at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, my home track. So yeah, it was really cool to get that win there. And then I actually, like, you know, after that, my confidence was really high, like I said, and I was really close to getting another win in Portland.
So 2 races here this weekend. Where do we go next?
Next, we go to Mid-Ohio next.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
You've been so consistent this year, Evagoras, though. Like, you had a run of podium finishes, and even when you're not on the podium, you're still top 5. 1 DNF, the issue at Indianapolis. The consistency this year, obviously a big win last year. How proud are you of the consistency? Is it something you've worked on this year?
Yeah, I think for sure consistency is something that I've worked on, something that I've really improved on from last year. Last year being my first full season in USF 2000. So yeah, I think consistency is a big thing that I worked on, and it's paying off so far, sitting second in points. Not yet have a win, but
that's where I was going next. Are you struggling with that? You want that victory, I know, but
I want it really badly, very, very badly. You know, I'd do anything to get that win right now, because it kind of just takes a weight off of your shoulders once you get that win. Yeah, I really want to win. I'm working for it as hard as I can. So.
Great fight up front right now, folks. Lockie Hughes, Frankie Mossman, and Simon Sykes. Let's check back in. Top 3 drivers right on top of each other. Less than a second. There they are there to the Sargento Bridge. We got ourselves a battle. We are into the second half of this race now. We have 7 laps down, 8 to go essentially. We're kind of halfway through here. And you can see a little cover on the bottom there. Not quite the full race line. Coming into turn number 5 for Lockie Hughes. He knows what's happening here right now. Everybody lining up, Eric.
And he's sacrificing a little bit of exit speed to protect that position going into 5. Logically done now that you're within 1 second of the top 3. But we've talked a lot about Mossman's attack, but how about Sykes? Sykes has gathered them both back in.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're just talking to Evagoras about winning races. Lockie won a bunch of races last year in a championship battle with Simon Sykes in USF 2000. Evagoras was right in that scrap as well. So both these drivers have, you know, numerous wins in the USF Pro Championships. Frankie Mossman does not. He's that one driver in the middle of the scrap, and these 3 drivers fighting it out who hasn't won yet. So there's going to be different feels for it, right? Everybody's in a different spot. Simon Sykes coming in after a win in Indianapolis, had an issue at IRP in the oval race. Ooh, side by side through the kick. That was Braden Eves, I think, to the inside there. That's of Tuchelski. That made me pucker a little bit coming through that corner. But you got Simon Sykes, right? He's digging. He needs wins to get back in the championship. Lockie Hughes tied for first place in points with Nikita Johnson. Even a second place finish with Johnson back in 10th is good for Lockie Hughes. Everybody always with a different mindset. Evagoras, do you think about that when you're racing? If you're in the middle of a battle for the race win, like Lockie Hughes here, are you just thinking win, or in the back of your mind's like, hey, you know what? I could probably take the point lead if I finish second. Do you think about that?
It really just depends for me, but, you know, sitting second in the championship, if my competitors are behind me and I'm on the podium position, that'll definitely be something that I'm thinking about.
Okay, good.
But if the win is there and I'm right there, then I'm going to go for the win for sure, you know, because I'm here to win.
So he just contradicted himself, which I love that, right? Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I'm going for the win.
Yeah, exactly.
Patiently aggressive, right? You kind of throw that one out there. By the way, the car that was up in turn 6 on the opening lap, Nicolas Baptiste, dropped from the 8th starting position all the way down to 21st right now.
Yeah, tough one. He's trying to claw his way back up forward. So again, folks, 8 laps down. Hughes with the lead, as we know, but we have ourselves a scrap up front. This is going to be a battle for sure. Great racing all the way through the field. There's Christian Brooks behind him. Of course, Matt Clark. Then we've got Liam Skeets and Nikita Johnson. That's the tail end of the top 10. Look at great battles further back here as well. That's Nicholas Monteiro, Chris Dudulu, Becklin, Cooper Becklin making his debut, Ethan Ho there, Logan Adams. All those drivers actually just turning their fastest laps. We talk about the consistency of the Continental tires.
Big dive into 8 there, just kind of a mirror full. I believe that might have been Montero, but
going into the inside, trying to get by Braden Eves, I believe, as well. Right in the middle of the fight there as well is Nico Christodoulou. So that's Christodoulou now on the gearbox of Braden Eves. That is 12th, 13th, and 14th coming out of the carousel.
Talking about Braden Eves, he started 11th, got up to 7th or 8th, and he's the one that was on the outside of 5 and kind of dropped back. He's actually back down into that 12th spot, but a lot of that was that mistake. He lost 3 or 4 spots because he dove in at turn 5 and sacrificed all the exit speed by getting stuck on the rumbles.
Braden, of course, coming back from a big win at the Freedom 90 for Exclusive Autosport. They've won 5 of the last 7 Freedom 90s. They've got such good success on the oval. Trying to figure things out, though, here at Road America. He's a winner before. He's been fast here, but struggling for a bit of pace there in the Exclusive Autosport number 92 machine. Let's have a look at the top 10. 6 laps remaining here right now in the middle of the fight. Hughes, Mossman, Sykes, 1, 2, 3. You got to go back a couple of seconds to Ricardo Escoto for BN Racing, who has worked his way up into 4th spot. Jace Denmark now runs in 5th. 6th is Danny Dashelski. 7th, Christian Brooks. 8th, Matt Clark. 9th, Liam Skeets. And 10th is Nikita Johnson. Good run there for Christian Brooks. Running 7th where he started, but he fell back to about 11th spot.
Absolutely, and we're starting to get reports of some sprinkles out on the racetrack. So,
why not?
You know, let's throw that, you know, wrench into the works. But it's going to be a little bit of a heavier band, I would think, here for at least maybe the next half hour, 45 minutes. So hopefully it's just kind of more evaporative, you know, mist in the air. But if we start getting a lot of moisture on the racetrack, then it's going to be an interesting play here with only 6 laps to go.
And I'll throw it out there. I had a chance to talk to Jim Swintel, the voice of race control before the race. If indeed it gets to the point where we think we have to bring those drivers in, we will throw a red flag. They'll come in. They'll have a 5-minute opportunity to change to the rain tires, and then we'll go back at it again here. Only 6 laps to go. So rain potentially in the future here for the drivers in USF Pro. Evagoras, as we know, he doesn't race until 11:45, so a long time before USF 2000 on the racetrack. But this is the battle for the lead right now. What a scrap we have. Lockie Hughes up front and has been patient, as has Frankie Mossman, showing a lot of patience right now. They're capping 4th and 5th. That's Ricardo Escoto, then Jace Denmark. That is 4th and 5th right now. Both those drivers still digging, because once they start racing up front, it could bring 4th and 5th back into the fight. Now, for me, that shows right now the patience of Frankie Mossman. He has not got aggressive. He has not made the move. This is more of a karting deal. Frankie and I talked about it in karting a little bit. And Evagoras, you've raced a lot of karts. You've run second, like you said. Stay second all day long. It's the last lap when things will get exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm Frankie right now.
Well, talking about the move, Frankie to the outside, battle for the lead into turn 1.
Thanks, Frankie. You had this all lined up that you were being super patient, and you tried the outside of 1. He'll go to the inside of 3.
Protecting.
Ladies and gentlemen, book it. We have a new leader. Fast Frankie Mossman has gone to P1 for Jay Howard Driver Development. All the setup that we had, he's being patient. He's waiting. Out the window. He goes to P1.
Well, maybe the time is now. You got 5 laps to go. You know that there's a little bit of mist on your visor a little bit as locks it up on the outside.
Hughes back to the lead.
Yep, Lockie Hughes back to the lead. And now that mistake by Mossman is going to allow Sykes to pull right up on the gearbox.
Yeah, I guarantee you further back, Ricardo Escoto's like, guys, go at it. I want to see side by side. I want to see you guys rubbing tires. Escoto for BN Racing wants to be in this fight.
So what did we see there? On the entrance to turn 3, Mossman took the protective defensive line and lost all that momentum at the end into the braking zone in turn 5. So did you learn anything right there?
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, you know, going into that corner, especially when you defend as well, you're braking on the dirty part of the track.
That's it.
So it's really hard if you're defending to try and keep that position without locking the tires. And, you know, if you flat spot the tires, and I even got this experience in practice, if you flat spot the tires, you know, bad enough, then the rest of the session is pretty much thrown away because it just kills you in the braking zone because you can't charge into the brakes as you would if, you know, your tires were not flat spotted.
Yeah, once you get that first flat spot, it always wants to grab that flat spot again. If you're just tuning in, Evagoras Papasavas joining us here from Jay Howard Driver Development, USF 2000 driver, a winner last year at Mid-Ohio, currently 2nd place in points with a tremendously consistent season so far. Just 1 finish outside the top 5 here in 2024. We'll see him go a little later on today along with the rest of the field in USF 2000. Excellent battle right now. We got ourselves a fight up front. We had a move for the lead for Frankie Mossman last time by. 11 laps in, 4 laps to go. And now it's Simon Sykes up on the gearbox as well. He'll have it in the back of his mind. Simon Sykes is a veteran driver. Last year, his first opportunity to, Eric, turn a full season, got a chance to get into a Pabst car, which obviously one of the best cars in the field, won the championship at USF 2000. He's one of the drivers who really kind of speaks to the USF Pro Championships. If it's not for the scholarship, he wouldn't have been racing. He said this last year, if I don't win this championship, I got to think about a different career.
Well, not only that, but he's lined up with probably one of the best teams to run here at Road America. So much experience being local, and obviously team leadership from the top down at Pabst. There's a lot of experience that you can lean on.
The one thing is they've won here in USF 2000. Pabst Racing has never won here in USF Pro 2000. 3 opportunities to do it today, and Simon Sykes right in the middle of a scrap, as we know right now, with Lockie Hughes and Frankie Mossman. Hughes gapping Mossman a bit here, about 3 or 4 car lengths now, as we again work with 4 laps remaining. There's Christian Brooks right there as well. Christian having a great run here, still in 7th.
Looking at that gap, Frankie Mossman hasn't been able to attack back to the gearbox. In fact, he's lost about 2/10 in the gap. It's a little bit over a half a second now. He had it as little as 2/10. He was right there and obviously made the pass for the lead going into turn 1, but that gap is starting to grow a little bit. Is he maybe trying to cool the front tires off too?
Evan Gorse, talk about that. He made a big move, excuse me, into turn number 3, lost the run out, lost the lead. What do you think's going through his mind right now? Is he just trying to press the reset button?
Yeah, I think so. Especially when you make a big mistake like that and you lock up the front tires pretty big is what it looks like. And especially because before that you're in the groove, you're focused, and then when a big mistake like that happens, it kind of takes you out of it for a little bit. So it's just working to get back into it, and I think that's what he's doing right now. But, he still has 4 laps to go, so we'll see.
Long time to go, as he said. Still lots of time here at Road America to make that move. And there they are, 1, 2, 3. You see the gap. There's 4th and 5th. Looks to me like a Scoto continuing to close up a little bit here.
Let's be honest, it's 16 miles.
That's very true.
It's a long way around.
Yeah. And listen, everybody in the top 8, actually everybody in the top 10 other than Nikita Johnson, just turned their fastest lap. These cars get faster and faster. We know there's a threat of rain. We talked about the fact that maybe a little sprinkle here and there. We know potential rain's coming in here in the next half hour to hour. So right now, these drivers here digging as hard as they can. And that's one of the things, Eric, before we sat down, before we started here, one of the crazy things about this expansive facility is you can be clean and green, dry, sunny down in turn 1. You get to Canada Corner, it could be raining. Every corner you got to get a feel. You're watching that visor.
We joke about it all the time, but this racetrack could be in 2 different time zones, and it's a completely different ecosystem. It could be raining on the back half and sunny here on the front stretch, all at the same time. And so that plays a little bit into how your behavior inside the cockpit is going to be managed. Obviously, with you hot tires, hot racetrack, this is the time. As soon as that rain starts getting heavier, you've got to be a little bit more diligent on the brake pedal, and certainly you've got to be a little bit more diligent on the throttle. You don't want to get a lot of wheel spin.
That's it. When Lockie Hughes gets back to start-finish, it'll be 2 laps remaining. 2 to go for Frankie Mossman. This is where you dig in. Thankfully for Frankie, at least, he's got a bit of a gap right now on Simon Sykes. Always nice to be able to look forward and not have to worry about the guy behind you potentially putting that pressure on. When you can have 100% focus on making that overtake, we'll see if it happens. Last time by, fastest lap there, actually Hughes 2/10 quicker. He was able to gap him a little bit. Mossman kind of now flirting with being outside that draft window, right? Not close enough to get the draft up the straightaway. He's doing the best he can, but he has gapped Simon Sykes, and it is still Ricardo Escoto in 4th, Jace Denmark 5th. 13 laps in the books, 2 laps to go. Lockie Hughes, who has not won since the opening round of the season at St. Petersburg, keeps digging. He's been on the podium the last 4 races. 3 straight podiums, not a win though, but 3 straight podiums at Indianapolis, 3rd on the oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park. This would be 5 straight podiums and back on the top of the box.
And we talked about this yesterday in the qualifying session, I believe, for USF 2000. But consistency, that's what these teams on the next step to the ladder are looking for. They're looking for someone that's going to bring the car back in one piece consistently up front and is mindful of what you need to do in the race car, and that's go fast, win races, and be consistent and win championships. And I think, we talked quite a bit yesterday about the USF Pro Championship ladders getting to the next couple of steps on the podium, how critical this series is to Indy Next and certainly to IndyCar.
You know who else does that? The guy sitting beside you, Evagoras Papasavas, super consistent. Only 1 finish outside the top 5 this year for the first half of the season. He had a run of podium finishes going to start the season. That win's going to come around the corner for Evagoras Papasavas, joining us today as our driver analyst here for the first of 3 USF Pro 2000 races on the weekend. Doing a great job for us here. I like Frankie Mossman digging here, though. I don't think we're done yet at all. Mossman is digging. He wants this win. Lockie Hughes knows. Look at this run coming through Kettle Bottoms into Canada Corner. Evagora said you want to wait to the last lap. Oh, here comes Frankie Mossman. White flag will fly this time by. This is not done yet. In fact, we may see Simon Sykes on the podium. I'm just saying, on the top of the box. This could get ugly at the end. You never know. Simon's still digging. A Scoto right there as well. Good run for Jace Denmark. Christian Brooks has fought his way. He was back at 11th at one point. Now, he knows it. Here comes the snake up the front straightaway because he knows Mossman is there. Lockie Hughes leads it here. The white flag flying. 1 to go. Down into turn number 1.
He picked up 3/10 on that lap. Now he's on the attack chance.
Yeah, there's the block to the inside. He covers off the bottom. Final lap here in USF Pro 2000 to start off what will be an exciting day here at Road America. Big defense down the bottom. Mossman looking to the outside. Guess who else is coming to the party? Hello, Simon Sykes, right there from P3.
We talked about those defensive lines just a couple laps ago, how you're slowing your entry speed at turn 5 because you're scrubbing it off in 3. Now he's right on the gearbox.
And Simon Sykes is loving it from P3. Hold on, folks. Final lap. They'll go down into turn number 5. He's going to cover the bottom for sure. Here he is, down to the bottom of the racetrack. Sykes is going to look to the inside on Mossman as well. Back up the hill onto the Corvette Bridge. They are gearbox to nose up to the hill here. Again, do you want to do it on the front straightaway or do you want to stick it somewhere? Canada Corner is a good place to make the move. Lockie Hughes, full defense mode. A Scoto right there in the back as well. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th. Down into hurry downs.
Yeah, and Mossman was really slow off of turn 5, and it kind of cost him about a 10th there on the exit up to turn 6, but that's put Sykes right on his gearbox. So now he's got to mind what's in front of him and what's behind him again.
I think Mossman had to check a little bit there because he saw in the mirror that Sykes was thinking to the inside, couldn't get down to the apex, lost a bit coming out of 5. Here they come through the kink. Look at the gap that Lockie Hughes has right now. It'll be the big run down as they come down through Kettle Bottoms. A big lead for Lockie Hughes, but a run through the draft here as well for Mossman. He needs to get super quick through here. A little wiggle on the front corner of the car. Side by side, further back. Big move to the inside. Book it. Jace Denmark goes to P4. Lockie Hughes pull it out here on the final lap. He won at St. Petersburg, a horrible NOLA Motorsports Park. Oh, Simon Sykes goes off in turn number 14. Sykes got caught up.
Mossman with a really aggressive block.
And he is off up the straightaway. He won at St. Petersburg, a victory at Road America, and it's a new point leader. Lockie Hughes wins here at Elkhart Lake. A victory for him. Tough one, though, for Simon Sykes. Tried to go to the outside in turn 14, got caught up on the rumbles, and Sykes off the track into the gravel trap in turn 14. I guarantee he wants that one back.
Let's take a look at that if we can.
Evagoras, have a look at this. Yeah, Sykes to the outside there.
I think Mossman was going to throw a little bit of a late entry into the corner, and I think it caught Sykes out.
Evagoras, what'd you see there?
Yeah, and there it's always difficult, right? Because it's the last corner, it's the last lap. Everything, it's bound to get aggressive there. But I think that when you go to the outside there and you try and hold around the outside, it's a little bit risky move.
It's not, what he probably should have done was done the over-under. The minute that he's blocking the inside, he's going to give up on the exit, right? That would be the better move.
And maybe, get the position from the drag race to the line.
Yeah.
But, once Sykes touched that exit, that entry curb right there, it was hard for him to stay from there.
Again, the car's on the ragged edge coming through 14. He ends up going all the way back to 19th, being told it was a driver spinning as well further back. Might have been Nico Christodoulou on the final circuit over at turn number 10 as well. So a lot of action on the final. Let's have a look at your unofficial results. Lockie Hughes with a huge win. Like I said, has not been on the top of the box since St. Petersburg. Frankie Mossman coming home in second. That'll move Ricardo Escoto for BN Racing up onto the podium. The issue for Sykes. Jace Denmark ends up in 4th. Christian Brooks 5th. Danny Jashelski 6th. Nikita Johnson up to 7th. Liam Skeets 8th. George Garciarte 9th. And Matt Clark in 10th.
So I believe that was Christodoulou as well back in turn 10, but that was right on the last lap, and there is a little bit of moisture back there, and he just got off into the grass. Looked kind of oversailed it.
And
some contact with the wall.
Yeah, so again, Evagorst, we can talk about that. One of the things about the carousel is you are just on the ragged edge coming through there. And if you get out of the groove like that, if there was some moisture, you're really a passenger at that point.
Oh, yeah, and especially in the carousel because the tires are working at the absolute limit. You're working at the absolute limit, just trying to hold the most amount of throttle as possible. And in a corner like that, you know, with this moisture, that could be down. Right when just a little bit of moisture gets on your tires, then you instantly lose so much grip, even though it's just a little bit, and that, you know, then that can happen.
Evagorst, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Great insight. If people want to follow you on social media, let's start with that. Let's throw it in here before we go to Victory Lane. How do they follow you on social?
Yeah, so Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all at Evagorst71. You know, that's where you can catch all the race updates, and then interviews and just things like that.
Hey, best of luck this afternoon, my friend.
Yep, thank you.
Evagorst Papasavvas, folks, tremendous driver here in USF 2000, a winner last year at Mid-Ohio. And again, here they come. What a victory for Lockie Hughes from Turn 3 Motorsports. He'll bring that number 44 in. Eric, I'm going to run over to Victory Lane. I'll let you handle it from here. Wait for the throw. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely, Rob. And what a great first of three. We get two more of those. And the best part of that was green to checkered here at Road America. And for this USF Pro 2000 Championship, Lockie Hughes coming away with a win for Turn 3 Motorsports at Road America.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
It's a fresh start. It's a career's on the line. It's a great chapter. I think everybody's goal is my life.
All this year is playing together, making a good championship season out of it.
It's the reason to keep me alive and the reason to keep me pushing.
I mean, a lot since I can keep going up the ladder.
Seeing all those champions and wanting to become part of that list.
The drivers are racing aggressive with me, I'll race aggressive with them.
The scholarship is incredibly important. It's obviously the goal for every driver.
I'm going to rewrite what happened last year in terms of that rivalry with him getting the best of me.
When you win a race, it's the best feeling ever.
Field is stacked.
Hopefully this year we can have good luck.
Having the scholarship money to move up next year is really all I'm aiming for.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
Tremendous run, finishing third place today for BN Racing, Ricardo Escoto. Logan Knapp from Elite Engines will deliver that third place trophy for Ricardo. Great run for him. Solid drive to work his way up into fourth, and of course getting third after the incident. Great drive there for Ricardo Escoto. I think a breakthrough race for this driver here. He's going to get a win here pretty soon. What a drive for Jay Howard, driver development, finishing in second. Frankie Mossman. Michael Knapp. These are the guys that normally work on the engines here. Elite Engines providing all the power plants for the USF Pro Championships. Michael coming in here. Of course, Elite Engines from nearby West Bend, Wisconsin. Great to have them here on the podium as well. This driver here has been fighting all year long. Won the opening round of the season at St. Petersburg. A really rough run at NOLA. But this is the fifth straight podium and the second win of the season. The car's in front of me. The winner today, put your hands together for Lucky Hughes. Steve Knapp will bring that trophy in. Then we'll have a quick chat here with Lockie. Great drive for Lockie here today. Steve Knapp, of course, from Elite Engines. Lockie, I'll come in and chat with you real briefly. How big is this win for you?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a great time to win. I mean, midway point of the season. It's been a while since the first race of the year, so been a bit up and down, but we've started to have a bit of a consistent run of late. So, yeah, now it's time to just build on this and get some more results. But can't thank the team enough for the great car. I mean, it's tough around there. It's tough here with the big toes you get, so to stay out front is quite difficult, especially when it was a bit drizzly. But yeah, I can't thank the McGinley crew enough out in Wyoming. I hope they're watching. Grip Auto watches, my family back home, and yeah, the team for the great car.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well done, folks. Lockie Hughes, and yes, they are watching back home in Australia. What a huge victory for him. He takes the point lead as well. Hughes back to the top of the point standings. And a couple of drivers here that have made their run into the podium for the first time. Frankie Mossman in second, Ricardo Escoto in third. Again, I always say that these drivers just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. From here, they go to Indy next. And these are the future stars of IndyCar. We'll bring the whole family from Elite Engines in here. Again, great to have them. They're really part of the platform of our program. Tatis chassis, Continental tires, as we know, VP fuels, but in the back of every one of our race cars is an engine that gets prepared just an hour from here in West Bend. Every engine in the USF Pro Championship produced by Steve, Logan, and Michael at Elite Engines. And what a day it has been so far. 5 races on the weekend for the USF Pro Championships. 2 today here for USF 2000. A triple header for USF Pro 2000. 2 races today, 1 tomorrow morning. And we will cap things off here from the morning. Guys, drop those trophies down.
pick up the champagne. Let's get underway by Grip It and Rip It. It's time to celebrate race number 1 for USF Pro 2000. What a tremendous drive for Lockie Hughes. Crucial to make his move back to the points lead. Obviously a tough run at NOLA Motorsports Park, but 5 straight podium finishes for the Aussie driver from Turn 3 Motorsports. Big win for Lockie Hughes. Still 3 more races on the docket for today. USF 2000 next up just before the noon hour. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in to the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel or the app to watch the broadcast here today. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tires, my name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.